The city lights blurred into a watercolor painting as Julian perched on the rooftop, the wind a cold whisper against his neck. Below, the opulent penthouse of a disgraced tech mogul slept, unaware of the ghost flitting above. To the world, Julian was a phantom, a whisper in the elite circles of art collectors and insurance underwriters. He wasn't a common thief. He was a recovery specialist. He only stole back what was already considered lost, treasures that insurance companies had paid out millions for, but secretly craved to have returned to their vaults. He was the art world's best-kept, most expensive secret. His reputation was built on impossible heists. There was the Monet job in Geneva, where he replaced a priceless painting with a flawless forgery under the noses of a dozen guards, using a custom-built drone that mimicked the flight of a pigeon. Then, the Kyoto Scroll, where he bypassed a pressure-sensitive floor by mapping the security chief's footsteps from weeks of surveillance, walking the exact same path to the display case. He was meticulous, patient, and invisible. He never carried a weapon. His tools were intellect, technology, and a deep understanding of human fallibility. His only contact was a shadowy figure known only as the curator, who delivered his assignments via encrypted messages and paid him in untraceable crypto. This latest job, however, felt different. It was almost insultingly simple. The target, a small, antique music box. According to the curator's intel, it was a worthless piece of kitsch, part of a larger collection a shipping magnate had reported stolen to collect a hefty insurance payout. The payout was made, and now the curator's client wanted the entire collection back, starting with this little trinket. The security was a joke, a standard alarm system he could disable with a simple frequency jammer. Julian was in and out in under 7 minutes, the music box tucked into his jacket. It was light, made of cheap wood, and played a tinny, off-key version of a forgotten lullaby. Back in his sterile, minimalist safe house overlooking the river, Julian examined his prize. It felt wrong. The wood was too light, the craftsmanship shoddy. Why would a wealthy collector even own this, let alone include it in a fraudulent insurance claim? Curiosity, the one vice he allowed himself, took over. He ran his fingers along the seams, feeling for a hidden latch or compartment. Nothing. He twisted the winding key, and the discordant melody began to play. But as the tune reached its 5th bar, he heard it, a soft click from within. The melody wasn't the point. It was a combination lock. He carefully turned the key, stopping and starting, mimicking the rhythm of the melody. After 3 repetitions, the false bottom of the box popped open. There, nestled in a bed of red velvet, was not a jewel or a secret document, but a tiny spool of microfilm. Julian's blood ran cold. This wasn't part of the insurance scam. This was something else entirely. Using a specialized magnifier, he unspooled a small section. The frame was filled with names, code words, and locations. He recognized a few: undercover officers, informants, federal agents. This wasn't just a list. It was a death sentence for every undercover operative in the city. The music box wasn't the target, it was a dead drop, and he had just stolen it from whoever it was intended for. His encrypted phone buzzed. It was a message from the curator. The tone was no longer professional and detached. It was frantic. Abort. Item is compromised. Do not examine. Await instructions. Julian's heart hammered against his ribs. Too late. The message was followed by another, a single address. Rail yard. Midnight. Exchange. Come alone. The curator was scared. Julian had never known the curator to be scared. He glanced out his window. Down on the street, 2 black sedans had parked, their tinted windows hiding whoever was inside. They weren't police. Their posture was too rigid, too predatory. He checked the fire escape. Another man, pretending to read a newspaper, watched his building. He was boxed in. Suddenly, his work phone, a burner he used for nonspecific communications, rang. An unknown number. He answered, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hand. A digitally altered voice, cold and metallic, spoke. You have something that belongs to us. We know who you are, Julian. We know where you live. The people outside are a courtesy. They will wait. You have 1 hour to return our property. If you are not on the street in 60 minutes, they have been authorized to come up and retrieve it. And you. The line went dead. Panic began to set in, a foreign and unwelcome sensation. He was a ghost, untraceable. How did they find him? How did they know his name? The curator's message, the cars outside, the chilling phone call. It all pointed to a catastrophic failure. The music box was a hornet's nest, and he had just kicked it. His mind raced, calculating angles, escape routes, possibilities. The rail yard at midnight with the curator? Or the street in 1 hour to face the strangers in the sedans? Both felt like a trap. He was a pawn in a game he didn't even know he was playing, and the board was collapsing around him. He clutched the microfilm, the fate of dozens of lives resting in his palm. His meticulously controlled world had shattered in an instant. He was no longer the hunter. He was the prey. As he stood in the center of his compromised sanctuary, weighing two impossible choices, a sound cut through the tension. A soft, rhythmic knock on his apartment door. 2 sharp taps, a pause, then another 2. It was the curator's signal, the one they used for emergency face-to-face meetings. But before he could even process what that meant, another knock echoed through the room, louder, more forceful. 3 blunt, heavy thuds that vibrated through the floor. They were here, both of them. Who will Julian open the door to? Find out in the next episode. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. Thanks for watching.